Hello and welcome to this video on how to add provider credentials into Kiro. Provider credentials can be added in two different ways in Kiro. You may already be familiar with the first from your previous system, where you add your username and password authentication against a provider. Each set of credentials must be stored against each provider record under Provider Credentials. Please note, when it comes to creating e-service schedules for valuations, the owner of the schedule must be the same owner of the provider credentials. Otherwise, bulk valuations won't work. Within Kiro, at the top of the screen in the main ribbon, navigate to Workplace, Providers, and open your desired provider. Next, click on the drop-down arrow next to the name of the provider you're viewing. And in the drop-down menu that has now appeared, under the section Configuration, select Provider Credentials. This will open the Provider Credentials page for that provider, where in approximately the middle of the screen, under the View title, click on Add New Provider Credential. This will prompt a new window to open, and you should see the provider field is already pre-filled to reflect the provider that you are adding credentials to. The owner field should also be pre-filled and reflect the user who is adding this credential. The remaining mandatory fields are for you to give this set of credentials a name and also to assign the provider service using the lookup tool available. Now that we've completed the mandatory fields, at this stage we will fill in the username and password fields, but please ensure the owner field is linked to the Kiro record of the individual who owns the credentials. For example, if the credentials belong to your company director, then please ensure the owner field is linked to their Kiro record. And now that all of the fields have been filled, once you've completed this form, click the Save and Close button in the Options ribbon towards the top of the screen. This will return you to the Provider Credentials overview for that provider, where we can now see that the credentials have been saved and set up successfully. The second way to log credentials in Kiro is with a Unipass certificate to access provider sites. One certificate can be used across multiple providers. A certificate can be applied at either an individual user level or a business unit level. If it is applied via the latter, this will be picked up for use by any users that are directly within that business unit. Within Kiro, from the home page, click on the drop-down arrow next to Workplace. Of the coloured tabs available underneath, on the far right, select Settings. And now, of the options available, under Advanced, select Security. A Unipass certificate can be registered against a user or a business unit. If you have one Unipass registered with all providers, then if it is added against a user, only they can use it. If added against a business unit, then any user within that business unit could use it. And by the term use it, we mean to request a one-off contract inquiry valuation. If you have registered multiple certificates with multiple providers, these can either be set up against a user or business unit and be linked to the relevant provider. But the use of the certificate is the same as mentioned a moment ago. In this example, I will add the credentials for my own individual record. First, search for the user record or business unit that you require, and then open that record. Once opened, in the main options ribbon at the top of the screen, click on the drop-down arrow next to the name of the record you're viewing. And in the menu that has now appeared, under the section Security, click on Credentials. This will open the Credentials overview for that record, in this case, my own. Underneath the View title, select Add New Credential. In the new window that has opened, on the far left-hand side of the screen, the user field should already be pre-filled to reflect myself. Underneath, open the drop-down list next to the field Type, and of the options available, select Unipass. This will prompt a new set of credentials options to open on the right-hand side of the screen. To upload the Unipass certificate, select the option Upload. Now you can either upload the certificate, like a normal file upload from a computer, or you can choose the option Detect if the certificate is instead installed. Once the certificate has been selected via Upload or Detect, select Import in the bottom right corner of this window. If you want this certificate to be available for all providers that use Unipass, ensure the linked provider field remains empty. Once you've selected Import, this will take you back to the credential being created. And now, within the Options ribbon towards the top of the screen, we can click Save and Close to finish. And there we have it, so I hope that this video has been of some help to you in understanding how to add provider credentials into Curo. If you have any further queries, please feel free to contact our support desk on 0800 032 3774 or via email at support@timeforadvice.co.uk.